Hello, I'm Morris Dimba and welcome to this tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to create drawing sections and customizing section marks and view labels in Tekla structures, and we'll get started right away. If you take a look on the screen, you can see a plan view of a structure, and this structure is of elevated water tank tower. So we want to create a section here, then we customize the section marks and the view labels and other symbols that are normally used in elevations view or in drawing creations, but many people find it difficult to manipulate those symbols and section marks. Now today I want to show you how to do that right away. Now from here, from this plan, first of all we want to generate or create a section or an elevation. Now I'll come to view section here and I'll just snap right there. I want to place my camera facing that direction. Now let me just mark the parts that I want to be focused on. Now I'll make that boundary, then I'll place my camera right here, and the section or the elevation is created right here. Now I'll click on this and drag this slightly aside or interchange the positions because the height of the elevation is slightly higher, so it will require a bigger space compared to this side. Now I'll just drag this to that position. Let me just remove that and drag that to that position. Now let's start with this, and before we start with this, let's first of all open this up. Let me click on that position and drag this up like that so that we see everything inside here, and just click and drag that up, click this and drag it up, and again that's okay, and open this in that position. Perfect. Now we can see everything. Now from here we want to comb our drawing and make it look more presentable. Now first of all, let's start with this point. Now if you take a look here, you can see at the view the section marks here. Now we want to customize them to give them a more presentable look. Now normally we almost prompted with a default section mark, and we want to customize this to match our preference or our preferred marking sections. Now I'll just come here and double click on this, and the moment you click on that, you'll be prompted with this section symbol properties here, and from here you'll be able to rectify or modify this much more faster and in an easier way. Now to customize this, we will customize this under section symbol properties here, and I'll drag that, and from here I want you to manipulate this. You use these five marks here, so I want just to change that to 20, and you see how that shifts to that position. And prior to this step, there's a part that we skipped. We have under section mark, we have symbol, left symbol, and the size. Now under left symbol, in here we have left symbol and right symbol. As you can see, we have the left one and the right one here. Now we want to change the size of this, and we want to change how this view mark or view label sit in relation to this mark. Now what we'll do, we'll come here and pick any mark of our preference on the left, and come on the right here and pick any of our preference, and I picked on this one, and in this case on this side I picked on that, and I clicked modify to for everything to take effect. Now that has been done, and what we want to work on now is this. And also, once you've made that, make sure the size matches. I change the size to 8, and this one also to 8. Make sure they are uniform in size. Now I'll come to view label here, and the view label in this case we don't want to work with on view label. We'll work on it right at the bottom end here. In this section we want to specifically handle the section mark. Now I'll close this and double click on it once again and come to cutting line section mark here, and for now we want to customize this view label. And how do we know that this is the right one we are working on? On this dialog properties we have annotation 5, and we have annotation 3, annotation 4, annotation 1, and annotation 2. In this case we have our A here is annotation 1, so we'll target the annotation 1 here and click that radio button here, and we'll have it here. And to see whether this is the right one, try and change the color of that annotation and give it a black, and you see that changing white. Now you rest assured that this is the letter or the view label we are going to change. And we don't normally work with the defaults, but in this case we'll work with it. And I'll come to position here. I want just to shift its position so that it doesn't mix up with this symbol. So I'll come here and a horizontal offset and give it an offset of 2 and click on that. You see it's going even more inside that symbol. So what I'll do, I'll prefix this 2 millimeter by a negative sign, and that will take it off slightly. And that's not far enough, I'll give it another offset. That's not fine enough, and give it another offset right there, and that's okay. And let's move this side and see if everything's matching. It's okay, the offset is okay. But if you take a look here, the symbols are so close to the foundation, and that is far away. How do we rectify this? This is very simple. What you do, we come back to a cutting line here and try and modify this. How do we modify that? So we adjust the settings here, or the offset dimensions here, by feeding the right offset dimension. We'll give it 50 right there. First of all, the moment you see this grade is gray, means the dialog box property is not connected to this. So what we'll do, we just double click on it once again to connect it up. Now you can see the modify button is active. Now we can go ahead and now feed in the appropriate offset measurements. I give it 50 right there, and click modify, and that will bring it close, and this will become more closer, which is not okay. Now what we'll do, we'll try again and add 50 right there, and that is now close. And this we can also make it slightly shift outside, or you can make it 14 here. 14 is okay, 15 will be much better now, or 13 or 12. 12 is okay, perfect. 11 will be the best. I'll click apply and accept. So if I double click here, I want to show you one thing. You see these arrows shows exactly what you want to change. The distance from the tip of the arrow to the far end of that arrow, you give it that dimension, and this. To adjust this, the closeness of this, you work with this too. If you take a look here, if I make this 20, and you'll see what's happening, it goes away from our cutting line. And if we take it to 0, it comes very close. Let me just undo so that we know where we were. Now if I bring this to 0, you see it's even coming closer to that. Let me undo that, and undo that, and undo that, undo that, undo that, and double click on that, so that we bring back our settings here. Now this is how it's done. If we change this to 20, what we see, it's open up, and this line also becomes longer. This line becomes longer. You can make it as long as you want. Let me just activate my my dialog box by double clicking this. Now that is how you manipulate that, and that's how it looks. Now we come to the view label here. We double click this because you don't want this default labeling like plan at 0. Not good, not good. Now what we do, once you double click here, you come to label here, and you first of all change this to white by picking black, and we come to symbol here and pick this one here and click OK, but make sure the size is the appropriate size of your preference. I'll give it 8, and that's okay. And the text now is blue, and we don't need it, we don't need this. We'll replace this. And how do you know you are replacing the right text? Now to know that, we have the attributes here 5, 3, 4, 1 and 2, and in this case we are working with the annotation 1, and that's exactly where we'll go. We'll come to annotation 1 mark and click on that radio button here and pick on this. You can see the color is blue, and to confirm whether you are working on the right annotation, try and change this by giving it a different color, and you'll see that changing. And also want to change the text height here and click 4 right there and give it a 4. You can change, you can give it a different font size and font type by just clicking on this radio button here, and this font dialog box will come up, and from here you'll be able just to type up here whichever font type you want, and it will be predicted, and you'll be able to select on the appropriate one. Let me go ahead and click OK, because that is what I want, and it's being rejected because I've not made the right procedure. I've not picked it in the right manner. So once I've predicted that this has been predicted, I'll pick on the Arial and pick on the best. I'll use regularly, then click OK. Now this is the size of my symbol. It's 8, and I want to place I want to mark this as annotation 1 here, and maybe a dash at the bottom end here. Now I'll come to annotation 3. In this case will help me to place annotation 1 inside this symbol. Now I'll go to annotation 3. You can see that I'll come to annotation 3, and once I've clicked on that, I'll come to text here and mark contents. I'll click on text and click add, and the moment you click add, this mark content text will come automatically and type in the text you want to place this as a mark for the plan view. Now in this case I'll give it 2 or 1. Let me just write 2 right there and click OK. Then I'll click on these 2 here, and I give it a text height, or I'll just leave it with that default height of 2.5 and click OK. If you click OK, you'll see the mix up here. The 2 is mixed up with this view label. So what do? We come to position right here, and under text position we click this drop down arrow here to associate or to customize this in relation to the symbol. We'll click on that and click modify. You can see it's gone, it has gone to the center of the symbol, but it's sitting right at in the wrong position. How do you do that? Now we either come here under vertical setting and either feed positive or negative, a positive or negative of the offset dimension that we tend to feed in or to type in. In this case we'll give it 2, and right up it has gone. Now I'll click apply and accept, because that is the best position that we intended to be on. And now we want to place a dash here just to make our marking look a little bit much better. Now we'll come to annotation 4. This will help us in placing that dash symbol. Now we'll come to annotation 4 here and click on that button, then come to text and add, click add, and this will bring the mark content text here, and we'll just place a dash sign right there and click OK. Then come inside this and select that, then give it click modify and click apply, and you cannot see it. You can see it here in the mix up. Now to do that, come back to the position here, and what you do, you come to position text and click relative to symbol, click on that and click OK. It is in the right position but so close to this. What do you do? Just maybe give it an offset maybe of 1.5 or give, prefix that dimension with the negative sign. Apply and accept, and this is what we have. This is much better now. And now we'll come to annotation 1, because we don't want this default. We want to put our own annotation that looks that match what we want. Now I'll come to, first of all, make sure you double click so that what you're trying to modify connect with your dialog box, in this case view properties. Now I'll come to annotation 1, because this is what we want to rectify. Now I'll come to annotation 1 and click on that, and come to view here. Once I've come to view, and go ahead and remove this. Once I've removed that, I'll come to text and add that. Now from here I'll type a plan view. Plan view, let me just type that, plan view at 00 level, at 00 level. Let me just put it, give it a capital right there, 00 level. Perfect. Now I'll come here and click OK, and you can see that. I'll click on that, then click modify and click apply, and that's how it looks now. Now if I zoom it close, you can see it's so close to this symbol, and we want to give it an offset away from that symbol. We come here and give it an offset of 2 or 3. Click on that, and that's giving it that offset of that symbol, and now it looks better. Now this is how it looks now. Perfect. And the view label looks like that. And now we go to section A, because we generated the section A. Now we come here, we come straight here, and now we try to customize this. I'll click on this, then drag that down so that we see everything right there. Now I'll come to section AA, and we want to now customize this now to make it look much presentable. Now I'll double click on it, then come to view label under view properties, and you can see here it's green. We can change the color here, maybe that, and it's not changing. That's not the right thing. We're changing the line. Now how do you know we are working on the right thing? That is another matter that we need to address right now. We'll come to attribute 1, attribute 2. That is not where you'll find it. You'll only find it in the labels here. Now under the labels, we'll come to section, we'll come to annotation, we'll come to annotation A. We'll first of all feed the symbol here. We'll feed this symbol here and click OK. You can see the symbol's in place. The symbol it is in the place. And in this case, this one was labeled 2, and the one is somewhere, so we label this 3. And how do you know we'll be working on the right position, in the right annotation? We'll come to 3 here and bring text and add that text and feed here 3 and click OK, and click on 3 there, then click modify. We can see 3 now. It has picked the default settings, our default settings. Now you'll not be going back and forth and doing the same thing. Now apply and accept that. We come to annotation 4 here. You can see that. We'll click on that, then add text here, and feed a dash sign right there, and select on that and click that. Apply and accept. Now it is now working properly, because the default settings has been stored, and that is what will be applied if you try to do the same thing over and over again inside this environment and on this drawing here. Now we want to give a different annotation here, a different description of this label. Now we'll come to now A1. This is annotation 1. Annotation 2 is at the bottom here, and this one you can use maybe to put a scale, and I'll do that for you and show you how to do that. Now I'll come to annotation 1 here. Annotation 1 here, I'll click on that, and I'll try to remove everything here. These ones I don't want this. I want to put my own. Click anywhere else and come back to text and add text right there. Then I'll type section I'll type section A right there, and click that, and pick on that and click modify, and you can see the section A is right in that position, and it's so close to that. How do we come to position and give it an offset of 2 or 3 right there, and click OK. It has moved. Now in this case we are done with that, and we want to put maybe a scale at the bottom end here. I'll click OK, but prior to doing that, let's check first of all the scale of this section. Just double click on this, and this will take us to let me just close this first of all so that we don't get, so this is a scale 1 to 70, which is okay. So we'll put that scale. We just double click on that. I want to show you how you can use this annotation too for placing your scale. Now once you've connected this, by double clicking on this to connect you with the view property, so that you can make the modification or you can customize what you want. Now I'll come to annotation 2, which is this one. I'll click on this radio button here and click on that, then remove it, come to text and add that, and maybe I'll just go ahead and type scale. I'll type scale, but in the scale in this case is small, capital then small letters, scale, then I'll give that scale 1 to 70. That's not the right scale. 1 to 70. 1 to 70. That's okay. Then I'll click here and select on that and give it a different color here, and I'll change the text here maybe to Arial right there, Arial, then pick on that regular and click OK. I'll click modify, and that's where we are. That's the scale. The scale is at the bottom end there. I'll apply, and I'll do a similar thing here. Double click on that and come to labels here and pick annotation 2, and I'll feed in my scale. Prior to doing that, first of all, check your scale, check the scale you intend to indicate at the bottom end right there. This is 1 to 17. So what we'll do, just double click on this, then come to labels here, and then come to annotation 2 and feed in your appropriate scale. In this case I'll just type scale right there, and 1 to 70, and I'll click right there, click select it first and click that, click apply and modify, and you can see them mixed up, which is not good. How do you handle this? You will come to just double click on it, then come to annotation 2 right here and select on it, then come to position and pick in relation to the symbol and click that. No, that is not in relation to, below the line. Click on that, then that's how it will be, that's how it will look, and that's how it will sit against the symbol. Apply and accept that. Click on empty screen to deselect everything. Make sure you save your work so that in case you lose power or in case your computer crashes, you don't lose everything. Now we have the grid lines here, some bigger circles, some small circles. There's some sort of lack of uniformity, so you cannot manipulate this by changing the size of these numbers. So what you'll do, if you really need the grid lines, you can make them remain by double clicking here, and maybe first of all let's change this color to that, and we don't need these numbers because I don't like these big circles. It makes this looks like it has been drawn by someone not really good at it. Now what I'll do, I'll disable this. That has been disabled, so I don't need those numbers, and that thing remain like this. I'll only remain with the upper labeling of the grids because they're somewhat uniform in size. Now, and double click on this also and change that change that color, and that's how it will remain. Perfect. In this case, we have nothing more. I want just to show you how to do that. And thanks a lot for watching this video. I'm Maurice Dimba, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and let's meet then.